And not only do we have Xanathar, we have Siphoning Insight and Negate. GG's. This should lock him up. We will also take that. All right. It's our time to shine, baby. And we get another Invoke Despair off of our opponent's deck. Don't mind if I do. There it is. There's the GG's. I would feel a little bad for beating them down with their own deck. But you know what? They Euro-go'd me, so... What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started on today's video, I did just want to give a quick disclosure that this deck list today is on the do not craft list. What does that mean? It means this is by no means a competitive list. This is purely a deck I made for my own enjoyment to add a little salt on the ladder today. And it is a complete meme, but I wanted to get that out of the way before we broke this thing down because I wanted to avoid the comments of people saying,
"Bro, I just crafted this thing and spent all my wild cards and went 0-20. You're trash. What is this channel? I'm unsubscribing."
So, to avoid that, I wanted to give that disclosure. And with that being said, let's talk about the list, guys. Today is a fun one. We're calling this one Your Wincon or Mine? Question mark? Because we are taking all of our opponent's deck, board state, graveyard. We're stealing everything, and we're going to be spinning those cards and throwing them right back at our opponent to try to win the game with their intended win cons. This is a very fun deck, and it made for some really funny content. So if you want to stick around for that, I'd really appreciate it. But like I said, do not craft this deck if you're trying to go on the ladder and get a bunch of wins. I am not the guy for that. So just want to give that quick disclosure. But if you want to have fun, you have these cards. Please, by all means, enjoy. What we're trying to do today is we're playing Xanathar, Guild Kingpin. This is a card I have yet to play, and I wanted to play this for so long. And it steals cards off the top of your opponent's decks. It stops your opponents from being able to play instant speed spells to, kill your thing. So it does a pretty good job of protecting itself. But ultimately, stealing the cards is kind of the theme I wanted to go with today, and wanted to build around Xanathar. So how are we going to do that? We have some other cards like Katos, the Silent Spider. We'll call it the Silent Spider. This card right here is a 4/4, which allows us to go into our opponent's graveyard, pick out a card, and we can exile that card and all the other copies of it in your opponent's hand and deck. Those go to exile, and we are able to play those cards from exile as long as the Silent Spider is alive on the battlefield. So another way for us to steal our opponent's win cons and deal them right back to their face. So I love this card. It came in handy, but we need ways to get cards to our opponent's graveyard, right? So we do have Inscription of Ruin as our way of dealing, getting our opponent's cards to the graveyard. It makes our opponents discard 2 cards, which is pretty sweet. But the other side of this card has 2 other abilities to it. We're kind of focused on the discard mostly, but there is a destroy target creature with mana value 3 or less, which is super helpful because there's plenty of aggro going around right now. So this is a great removal tool as well. We also have Siphoning Insight. This card right here is a 3/, and we're going to be stealing cards off the top of our opponent's decks and casting them as well. So we have a really nice healthy theme of steal your cards and use them against you. We have some other really great cards along the way to help us get there. This is kind of a control shell. We're trying to survive long enough to get this combo off and steal our opponent's things and cast them. So we have plenty of removal. We have Bloodchief Serfs, which is a 3/, for the little tiny critters in mono white. This also hits planeswalkers, which is pretty cool. There's kind of a theme with our removal. They almost they all hit planeswalkers. We also have Hero's Downfall, another spot removal, hits planeswalkers. And we have Invoke Despair, which hits planeswalkers as well, hits a creature, gets you some card draw. This card's, it kind of does it all. And then we have Shadow's Verdict, which is our sweeper of choice because all of our creatures are really big. And so Shadow's Verdict will wipe up the board without even affecting our creatures at all. And then we also have 1 copy of Pelika Predation, which is a way to discard opponent's cards, maybe to get, some effects with the Silent Spider. And then we have 3 Cram Sessions because we did have trouble, gaining life. There's been a lot of matches before Cram Session made the cut. There was a lot of matches where we got to our Shadow's Verdict, killed our opponent, and we were down to like 1 or 2 HP, and then we just couldn't recover. And Cram Session was a really good way to fill that up, and it allows us a sideboard, which is pretty cool. And then we have Negate as well to protect our creatures once they're down, because once we get a really big creature down like this, we really want to protect it the best we can. They do a good job of protecting themselves. Like Xanathar doesn't allow our opponents to play instant spells on our turn, and Jin counters things, and Jin's our other top end here. Jin counters things whenever they cast them, at least for the first spell that they do cast, if it's an instant and sorcery spell. But this also copies spells, so if we want to do a double Invoke Despair, that could be a lot of fun. That's a really great way to win the game. We've done that before. We could double up on our Siphoning Insights to deal, steal more cards from our opponent. We can gain double, 4 life, making it 8. It's really, really nice. And then lastly, we have 1 copy of Professor Onyx because it's also another great way to, gain life. We run plenty of instant sorcery spells, so it's more of a traditional way to win the game if you need it. And then lastly, I think we're going to go with the hives here today. We got 2 hives. That's going to eat up our opponent's graveyards. We have splashed in 2 Jawaris as well. We can take a look at the sideboard here. We have 2 environmental sciences, 2 teachings because we don't have any draw spells in the deck except for Invoke Despair. But this deck does a really good job of getting value either way because we're stealing things from our opponent. So we're always going to have extra cards. But teachings just in case you need them. Pest summonings for those aggressive decks. Annihilation for planeswalkers, and a mascot exhibition as a way to win the game, especially if you could double it up with the Jin Gitaxias. But that's going to do it, guys. That's the deck in a nutshell. Enjoy the gameplay footage that you're about to see, and then we'll meet you guys back here at the end for some final thoughts. Peace. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I felt a little silly today, so that's how the deck reflected, and we built a silly little build here where we're going to be trying to beat our opponent with their own cards. We built a DIMIR deck around Xanathar, and I'm hoping that we can get some really cool wins with it today. This opening hand, though, is not the play. This one's not the play either, but I guess we can give it a shot. Oh man, I don't even know what to do with this. Shoot, how did we get our top end cards like that in both mulligans? Like, geez, the 2 opening hands had every 6-drop in our deck. All right, well, at least this time we have an Inscription of Ruin into a Silent Spider, so I mean that's something. We get him discarding 2 cards and we can start stealing some stuff. Opponent right away showing probably mono black or Orzhov. It's Orzhov. Okay. Fair enough. All right, let's get them discarding some cards here. I'm sure they're going to draw 2 cards here because of the Deadly Dispute. Sure enough, they definitely have it. It's either Deadly Dispute or Vanishing Verse that's holding priority, and I would assume that, Deadly Dispute's the card in hand. Wow, they're going to give me an Onyx potentially here. That would be huge. Vanishing Verse does a really bad job of dealing with these 2 cards, so I like that they're running that. Let's hope they're not running Rite of Oblivion. That would be bad. All right, they cracked the Field of Ruin. We're gonna go grab what, a black or a blue source here? Probably black, just because we run that Invoking Despair. All right. Silent Spider comes down next turn. Oh, they're running green? Abzan. Interesting. Little Abzan action, huh? Well, this is going to resolve. It's just whether or not does this, survive. And I'm happy, even if we don't get to play the Onyx this turn, at least we get to steal the Onyx from their deck, and it's their only copy. Wow. It's their only copy. They're trying to win with Kaya, Farewell. So this is kind of Planeswalker deck. All right, I think I like our matchup here. Especially because we stole their Onyx, which we can play next turn. And it looks like our Silent Spider is going to survive, which is wild.
Let your blade do the talking.
Hopefully their Onyx can find me Shadow's Verdict off the top. This is big time, man. Being able to not only steal their Onyx, but cast it. Shigeki can channel for what? Return X target non-legendary cards from the graveyard to your hand. Ah, I see what they're trying to do here. I respect the plays. What's in their yard? Just a Shigeki, huh? Maybe we go for Cram Session here. Cram Session does get us the teachings, which could draw us more cards down the road, so kind of like that. Attacking both in here into this seems like a good idea, but they are going to double block protecting it. But then Vanishing versus this, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. They just hit me with the Yurgo. Classic Vanishing verse. I don't mind if my opponents take a long time, as long as they're, you know, you see some highlighting going on and some thinking happening. But if they're just AFK, it's kind of annoying. But you gotta give a guy a break when he's just trying to figure out his play. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're definitely gonna play this. Our opponent's only showing, you know, a cave in hand plus 1 card. I'm gonna bank on that 1 card not being something that can deal with the... Okay, and I was completely wrong. Fair enough. Fair enough. What are the odds that they just drew that? Pretty high, huh? Let's go again, round 2. Let's gain some life. I feel like we should take this just in case. We are about to get a lot of card value though off of our opponent's deck, so good chance that Teachings may not be a good card here, but we'll see. We'll see. Eye Twitch is really getting big here. Kind of popping off. All right, opponent can't play anything at instant speed here. All right, this says as initial cost of this card, 2 less. It deals X damage to Planeswalker gains. Okay, so let's do this for 2. 1, 2. Submit 0. We get another hive off of our opponent's deck. Love that. They get a land. Cool, that works for me. And no attacks. No attacks. You get your land. Have fun with that. I can activate the hive as a blocker maybe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I can. I can activate the hive as a blocker. Shigeki channels, grabs another binding. Yikes. Kills Xanathar. Feels bad, man. See you later, Xanathar. You did a good job, though. You did a good job. We'll kill the 2/2 off. Oh, no, but the 2/2 has Death Touch. It's still fine, though. I'll still take that exchange because we have another one that we stole from them, so it's fair enough. I like the Shadow's Verdict here. That's fine. Takes away our opponent's ability here to get things back from the graveyard, which they might be trying to do. I didn't really look at their deck too hard, but Eye Twitch, why not? Why not? Man, I really wish I could use this Teachings, but our opponent's having just as much trouble with their hand as we are. Alright, Black Source. Another Shadow's Verdict. I mean, that's okay, but I am going to go for their graveyard here and just start destroying some stuff so they can't get anything back. Planeswalkers in particular. We saw how good Shigeki was, so gotta take care of it. What'd they top deck? None of their lands do anything. Oh, you're kidding me. What did they top deck? But of course. But of course. Unbelievable. Their top deck was a despair. It's got me in despair, that's for sure. Alright, we're looking to draw cards here, so let's Shadow's Verdict. Finally, we get a Teachings off, but no castable spells here. A Negate feels really, really good. So does Siphoning Insight, to be honest. You never know. Doubt I'll be able to cast it, but you never know. I like the Insight and Negate both here because they're instant speed. Okay. Oh, they're just trying to keep cards out of their hands so I can't draw cards. That's okay, I guess. I love it. Oh my god, that was a great pull there. Now we hit him with it. That's so huge. That is big time right there. There goes their whole graveyard. We'll be seeing ya. And now we have the Negate ready to be cast. I know I could have played Xanathar there, but I want to make sure I can counter if I need to. Now we can play the Xanathar. And not only do we have Xanathar, we have Siphoning Insight and Negate. GG's. This should lock him up. This should definitely lock our opponent up out of the game. We'll take that. We will also take that. All right. It's our time to shine, baby. And we get another Invoke Despair off of our opponent's deck. Don't mind if I do. There it is. There's the GG's. I would feel a little bad for beating them down with their own deck, but you know what? They Ur-Go'd me, so don't do that. Oh man, it is so satisfying to beat somebody with their own win cons, man. It's nothing quite beats that feeling. It's kind of like a big brother prank of stop hitting yourself, you know what I'm saying? I guess not so much a prank, more like abuse, but it's, you know, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. All right, we got a cram session, Shadow's Verdict. So any aggressive build, we should be okay. Should be able to get there. What you got for me? Mono green. Okay. Jawari Disruption might be actually pretty big here. Might be able to hit ourselves a pack leader. Might just want to do that. Don't think I need it for mana. I think getting the pack leader here is more important than using it for actual land or ranger class. I actually prefer hitting the ranger class more than I do the pack leader, so that's pretty sweet. Because Verdict doesn't hit the actual enchantment, so that's nice that we were able to get rid of that. What do we want though here? This is interesting. I keep grabbing the teachings just because I don't have another way to really draw cards. But I hope our opponent doesn't unload here and cause me to regret that decision. Five cards in hand. All right, we do get to pop the teachings here for good. Nice, another Verdict. Okay, we're in prime position now, ladies and gentlemen. Mono green is in trouble. We have a way to deal with their Lair of the Hydra. Ah, that's annoying though. That is actually pretty annoying because that's a little too big for the old Shadow's Verdict, huh? Maybe. Nah, I still think we should Shadow's Verdict here. That's tough though. Shadow's Verdict for one creature feels pretty poor, but man, who's playing Oddity in mono green right now? Come on. I might just drop a Xanathar on this next turn and then look to Verdict again down the road. Yeah, I think Xanathar is the call here. Just because it's a big enough body to block one of these with, it might deter them from attacking in to us. Obviously, Blizzard Brawl is a serious problem, but they would need 2 Blizzard Brawls in order for it to be good. Man. Tough game here. The Oddity really made this tough. It was pretty much the perfect answer to what we were trying to do here, because had it been another 3-drop or below, Shadow's Verdict would have cleaned everything up nice and tidy. And now we're sitting in a spot where it's like, what do we do? So them swinging in with both here tells me that they're trying to swing in and then Blizzard Brawl right after against my Xanathar, which is not the end of the world, really. I'll take it. I mean, no, they do have that Tameo's ability to gain indestructibility, right? That's the new Tameo card that everyone's been running. So are we about to take 9 damage here? I mean, we do have this and this. No blocks. The fact that they didn't stop from attacking tells me all I need to know. Man, gaining indestructibility. What a tricky spot that puts me in, huh? 2, tap this, untap it, it gets 4. Okay, just trying to figure out my mana here. That leaves me with 1. That's all I can really do though. I mean, it's gonna leave him with the pack leader though, which is annoying. Oh, this is so annoying. It's so annoying. Okay, so we do 2 here. I have to. There's no other play here. There's no other play here, unfortunately. We have to block. And then if they activate their layer of the Hydra for 4, we just lose. I mean, we gotta hope they play more creatures here and not activate the Hydra. They do. They play more creatures, which is a mistake. They actually had lethal there. We got away with one there, that's for sure. I am gonna block obviously this time though, because we have no other choice. And yeah, man, Tamiyo's just gonna give them the indestructibility, but I mean, it just gives them +1, so we're not gonna die. Oh, it doesn't even give them +1. Interesting. I guess I should have done that last turn then, huh? I thought this card gave them +1 damage, and then I thought we were gonna get Blizzard Brawled right after. Like that. So I guess I was right. Yes, that was kind of right. All right. If we do this, we gain 4. We get environmental sciences. We gain another 2, putting us at 10. And then we can Hero's Downfall still, right? Am I tripping? No, we can Hero's Downfall. Good. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll do this as our play. So we'll grab you. Do we need the blue? Because I could end up... Yeah, we need another blue for this, right? Ah, that puts us in a bad spot though, because we have to grab a black source here instead of a blue source, because we need to be able to play Hero's Downfall. But at the same time, I could just use my Field of Ruin to blow up the layer of the Hydra if that's the course they decide to take. I don't like this. I think Hero's Downfall is going to have to be the play here, which means we don't get to get the Jin Gataxias out next turn though. This is all bad. I mean, we did get around the potential lethal 2 turns ago, so we shouldn't even be in this game still, but we're here. We're here and we're causing trouble. All right, so here's the layer of the Hydra activation, which means the Werewolf Pack Leader is going to draw him a card, which was what I was really hoping to avoid. I was hoping maybe they would have drawn another 3-drop here, like maybe a Mammoth or something, or I don't know. Something that I could Verdict again, but I don't have another Shadow's Verdict at the time. Ding. I don't know, maybe I do go for the blue source here. 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They don't attack in with a layer. That's a mistake. They are making so many mistakes right now. Unless, of course, they have hexproof right now. Nice. All right, they made another mistake. That's huge. I mean, we are going to take 5 here potentially, though, if they pump up the Werewolf Pack Leader. No, they don't pump the Pack Leader either. What do they have in hand here? Okay. That's not... I mean, that's pretty bad. Another Hero's Downfall. I make this a blue source, tap this and this. That leaves me enough to despair. I'm trying to figure out a way to get Jin Gataxias out here, but I don't know what to do. Guess if I do this... I guess if I do this, there's a chance I hit a land here, a black source, and I can Hero's Downfall as well, which would then keep me alive again. I'm just hanging on by a thread here. Oh, they're gonna activate the layer of the Hydra so they can get away with... Interesting. Nice choice there. I actually dig that play a lot. Shadow's Verdict. I might be okay here. I might be okay here. It is a very slim chance, but I might actually be okay here. It's gonna be tough. It is going to be a nail biter, but if they drew a 3-drop here, I'm okay. Dude, what a game. What a game this is turning out to be. All right, I'm hoping they drew, you know, some creatures that are 3 or less so I can get a good Shadow's Verdict off, hold up the Field of Ruin. That falls in that category. Do you have another one? Come on. No, they don't. Okay. I guess Hero's Downfall is the way we can do this, right? All right, we'll do it like that. I want to make sure that I have both the Field of Ruin and the Hero's Downfall as an option. It was going to do that incorrectly, so I need to do it this way. Opponent loses everything here except for the Ranger class, which is actually a really good card to have when you're talking about the fact that they need to refill their board state from a sweeper. That's a really good card to have. All right, that's something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I'm gonna have to Hero's Downfall one of these. I don't like that, man. I don't like that at all. I would have liked to have copied that at some point or something like that. Jin Gataxias comes in. If they hit a land, I'd lose the game. Insight can... Oh, man, what do I do here? What do I do here? I'm 1 mana short of actually being able to do something good here. Well, maybe I could do this first and then Jin Gataxias, but Jin Gataxias doubling this is what I really need, but it's fine. Excuse me. All right, that puts us at 6, a pretty healthy spot. This comes in as a blocker, handles the 4/5 pretty easily, but there's a chance that they give the +1/1 counter, making it too big to block. But I'm also okay with that too. I will let it get by because that means they won't be able to attack him with the Lair of the Hydra really. And then we start doubling our spells, which that's the key, right? We're doubling our spells. If we could just find another maybe cram session, it's gonna be really hard. There's only 1 more in our deck. But even our kill spells start to double. So, I mean, we are literally walking on a tightrope right now. This is crazy. I like this better because I can always blow this up with Field of Ruin at any time, right? And now I gotta negate. This is perfect. Let's do this on our turn because it does double. And we have negate, we have Field of Ruin. This is all good stuff. Staggering Insight to double again. We have blockers. All right, we're sitting really good right now. I think we just locked the game out. I think we just won this game, to be honest. I don't want to get too excited, but I think we might have pulled this off. Opponent's highlighting the Jin Gataxias, like what the heck just happened there? Well, you got doubled on here, unfortunately, my friend. The fact they missed lethal too has got to be so bad. Like they probably don't know because they missed lethal, but if they somehow like figured that out later in the game, they're probably beating themselves up pretty bad over it. All right, that is fine. We do get another land off of that, so that's fine. That wasn't really going to do us much good anyways. All right, let's do this now. Finally, we can get rid of this pretty comfortably. We have plenty of mana now to do that without having to worry about the backlash. Game of the year for me right here. This is the game of the year for me. I do feel bad though, because it's not like it's not like I like squeezed out of a spot that was like one in a million chance. It was like our opponent made a mistake and we were able to capitalize, which feels a little bad, but hey, that's Magic for you. More bodies, we'll take it. And this is the part of the game where our opponent starts to lose to their own deck. All right, and we do get to start drawing some cards here too, thanks to the Werewolf Pack Leader, which is so nice. Double Asika's Chariot, why not? Let's draw some cards. Oh, I love you, Werewolf Pack Leader, when you're on my team. I think I do this, right? I have plenty of mana to negate still, so. That's a 10 spot right there, baby. Taking him down to 8. And we can end our turn. Jawari Disruption tied with negate. There's nothing our opponents can do here. This game is pretty much game over. And they are, yeah, they're screwed. They're going for a level 3 Ranger class to play off the top of their deck, which is a desperation move, really. They hit some land. GG's. My goodness, was that the closest game I've ever played in my life? Holy. Oh man, the stress going through my body at this moment in time. Jin Gataxius, man. If I could have just gotten that card down a little sooner and copied environmental sciences and stuff like that in my cram sessions, we would have been totally fine. But man, we were scraping by that game. Struggling to find that second blue source. This is a keepable hand for sure. Early game cram session finds us environmental sciences and we're good to go. All right, mono red. Super aggressive list here. Yes. Life gain is going to be pretty key. I need some removal though. I need to get some removal big time. Nice. I like that. I do like that because they tie their battery probably to the charger and then we go ahead and Hero's Downfall it. I need to find a Shadow's Verdict though. Without a Verdict, we're in a bit of a bind here. I don't like putting this downfall here, but it's not much I can do there. I don't know if that was the right choice or not, but I'm hoping it was. More life gain is always welcome. Shoot, I should have grabbed the black source there. If I top deck a Despair now, I'm gonna be really upset with myself. All right, that's fine. This is gonna get aced. Which is not that fine. Three damage to target creature or planeswalker, 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. Okay, so dealing 3 damage to a creature feels pretty cool here. All right, Siphoning Insight, also this. All right, I think that's the play. I would like to get the big body down here, but I don't know. Man, my allergies just kicked up hardcore. Dude, one Shadow's Verdict and we win this game, but we just, it's one of those times where it's like, man, you just either have it or you don't. And right now we don't. We don't have it. We get dealt 2 here, but it does bring their other creature down by 2 damage. So that is what it is. No other plays, huh? So that tells me you got a lot of burn spells. Hopefully the type that are burning not my face. All right, this is a good block. Man, I don't. This is gonna be another one of those really close games. I just don't know. We got a good body to block with here. This 2 gets around us, and then it all depends on whether or not they can crack this. Tough, man, tough. Oh, that's no good. Nope, they can definitely go face with a couple of these. Ouch. Wow. Just going straight face with everything. We just got absolutely burned out. I mean, we win that game 100% of the time if we find a Shadow's Verdict in the opening hand, but it's all good. GG. Man, mono red is very fast. I did not expect to see any mono red today. Expected to see mono white, the runes and stuff, but not mono red. But yeah, I guess there's a lot of good variety right now in standard. I mean, that's the ultimate thing, right? Is like standard seems pretty healthy right now, which is pretty cool. We just see a lot of different things right now on the ladder, so that's all we can really ask for, right? All right, 2 despairs, an insight to start things off, and a gate potentially. We'll see what we can do with this. Probably a bad keep if I'm being honest, but we'll see. All right, that just got a lot better. Our keep just got a lot better, and it looks like another mono red deck maybe. Going first here though. Oh, it's Is It. How are we against Is It? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Negate's nice because it does shut down a lot of what they're trying to do. This, okay, it doesn't get Jawari'd. That's nice. We could use some blue mana. The Den is cool, but it doesn't really help us that much for what we're trying to do. I like the negate here because if they do an expressive iteration, I'm definitely popping the negate. And the reason being is because there's not a whole lot of really big spells that threaten me here, and this negate on the expressive iteration can potentially shut down their mana. A lot of people will keep a 2-land hand because they have an expressive iteration in hand to save them. In this case, it didn't work out, but in most cases that would work out. I've had that happen before where I negate the expressive iteration, they miss their 3rd land drop, and it's pretty much game over from that point, but opponent recovered nicely from that. I think I'm just going to crack the Field of Ruin here. I could do another Siphoning Insight, but I think I'm just going to crack another Field of Ruin. That way we can hit a Despair. Ugh, Malevolent Hermit? Are you kidding? They can counter the Despair like no problem. So maybe I do the Insight just to try to bait them into using their counter spell. All right, let's see if they can sack the Hermit here. That'd be great. No, they don't. We get 2 lands. Great. Hermit's just rocking and rolling, huh? Rocking and rolling. I need the Despair to hit, so I'm gonna have to get them to use the Hermit. We cannot have that out there, man. That is so annoying. 3, 4, 5, 6. Dude, Hermit is a good card. Hermit is something I definitely considered running in this deck. I really want to make a deck that has Hermit and really utilize it in a strong capacity. All right, they're looking to not get countered now, which is fine. I'm not really looking to counter your stuff right now. I'm just more focused on trying to get off one of these Despairs. 1 mana. I feel pretty confident that this is going to resolve. They do have a Fading Hope, it looks like. Looks like they might Fading Hope this, guys. Yep. Which is fine. I mean, I get 3 cards now instead of just 2. But, you know, that is a problem to come back onto the battlefield. Nice. That was a really good Invoke Despair. All right. This can only counter non-creature spells, right? Yes, only non-creature spells. I think I'm going to blow this up now so I can go get another blue source. We have enough for Invoke. Yeah, there's really no colors that really matter here too much. I guess I could have played Jin Cataxius on this turn, but I'm afraid, I don't know what I'm afraid of. Fading Hope is a pretty brutal situation for us if we get Fading Hoped on a Jin Cataxius. But it does protect itself by countering that spell, but I don't know. I guess, yeah. I guess Jin was the play here. I made a big mistake by doing the Field of Ruin. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm one short. Never. Wait. No, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been one short. Dang it. I should have played Jin Cataxius here. That was a big, big blunder. It's fine, though. We have another Siphoning Insight. This deck that our opponent's playing here is actually a pretty good deck for us to steal from because of the colors we run. Not too sure what our opponent's waiting for here. I don't want to be the guy to hit him with the year go, but okay, good. All right, we've got their Hall of the Storm Giants too, which is super good against you know, control matchups like this. It's a really great card to have for late game. Good way to win the game. It feels nice to have more cards than them, that's for sure. All right, they're going to be able to recast an Expressive Iteration for free here. Let's go ahead and disrupt their play here. Guess that's the best card we can take out of the two, right? We don't need another land, but I am afraid because once this comes back as a Geist, we won't be able to counter anything, so... And our opponent has exactly 1 mana left open, of course. How convenient. All right. So them being able to sacrifice the Hermit is still a play here. I am gonna go for it. I think Jin Cataxius is fine here. Not only do we have Jin Cataxius to counter things for itself, we have the Spell Pierce now, which can also counter and make them pay 2. So we should be able to get this to stay on the field and stay resolved here. And what's really nice too is it copies spells. So if we Shadow's Verdict next turn, the Hermit is irrelevant. Jin Cataxius is like honestly a really good counter now that I'm thinking about it to the Hermit, just because of the fact that it can copy spells. So even if our opponent wanted to sacrifice the Hermit to counter, the copy is still going to go off. So feels bad, man. Let's feed their fish. Oh. Oh. All right, a Braid. That gets canceled out. Which means they were probably going to try to double burn it here. I wonder if they know it was going to do that or not. They probably did. They probably threw that away so they can iteration here. Smart. They might find a Fading Hope and try to cast it, but then we Spell Pierce. And then they feel really, really bad. Thundering Rebuke's not good enough to get the job done, but it will allow you to attack in here with your creatures. So you might think. Yep, they think they're comfortable here attacking in because of their Thundering Rebuke. I'm going to counter it though, and it's going to make them feel really bad. And that does lead them susceptible here now to a Shadow's Verdict. GG's. Yeah, they didn't want to see any more of that. Nobody wants to get beat down by their own cards, man. I don't blame them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's gameplay footage. Thanks for sticking with me. I do appreciate it. Before we break this thing down and talk about it, because we have a lot to talk about, again, full disclosure, this is a do not craft list. I just don't want people to get upset later and waste their wild cards on something that's not super competitive. This is definitely a meme. And, you know, with that being said, though, let's break this thing down. Before I do, though, huge shout out to everyone who's made it this far into the video. I do appreciate that so much, more than you might know, because YouTube does have an algorithm. They like to see watch time. So when you stick around this long, helps my videos go out to more people. So thank you so much for that support. Let's talk about the list, man. So what can we change with this thing, man? Well, honestly, a whole lot, if I'm being honest. I feel like there's a lot going on here, and I feel like the biggest card I think could be cut from this deck would be the Silent Spider. This card was really cool, and it fed into the theme that we were trying to incite, you know, and Xanathar and Silent Spider stealing all their things, right? But the Silent Spider, I think, thrives a little bit more under the guidelines of, you know, like Soaring Thought Thief and Wind Robber, where you're milling the opponent's top of their deck, you know, like a rogue deck, and maybe even getting this flashed in somehow with some sort of ninjutsu at the end of a combat so it can survive a turn and you can actually utilize the spells you steal, because it is very susceptible to dying when you play it on turn 5 and you got to wait a whole turn and it's just open for that, you know, removal spell. So this card can definitely go. It's definitely more of a, you know, an add-on here to what we're trying to do with the theme of the deck, but it's not helpful to actually winning games, I don't think. You know, this deck could be changed in multiple ways. I'm not even really sure where to start or talk about, but if we wanted to do a Xanathar deck, I do think there's a way to do it a little bit more competitively. We just need to focus on Xanathar being kind of the win con over the top and not so much like build around it with these, like, this whole theme. We could cut, you know, the insights in the Silent Spider and make just a full-on control deck, or we could even do like a reanimator deck to try to get Xanathar out early on like a turn 4. It would be really hard to deal with at that point because, again, it protects itself pretty well with them not being able to play instant speed spells. But the control package we have here is pretty cool. I think the Inscription of Ruin is pretty cool because, again, it feeds into what the Silent Spider was trying to do, but it also acts as a removal spell, which is really helpful. But we don't get that third trigger off of this, which is kind of annoying because there were a couple of times we were able to kick this and we can't bring back a creature for, you know, value less 2 or less. So it doesn't fit 100% in the deck. So if you're copying that and it's kicked, it's kind of like really bad lost value there. So I think it's better off with the deck where you've got, you know, creatures in there. So I mean, like, this could go really well with this card if you're running, like I said, a rogue deck. You can have these rogues come back from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. So I think if you take this card as your main source of, like, you want to build around it, make it a rogue deck. If you want Xanathar to be your main build around, make it a more of a control deck. That's kind of the ultimate thing I've kind of concluded here today. Or you can even, like I said, reanimate this thing. But ultimately, I don't think these two belong together as much as I wanted them to be together. I don't think they really belong together. You kind of got to go one way or the other with this deck. But ultimately, there's a lot that can be said and changed in this deck. I'm not going to ramble on too long, but if you guys have any ideas on how to make it better, or if you got any ideas on how to spin this in a way that's a little more fun, definitely leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. We'll see you back here on Friday for another video. But if you guys want, we do live stream every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you want to come in and check that out, we'll be live for about 2 hours. And we'd love to hang out with you guys, talk with you guys, and get to know you guys. But that's going to do it. Before I hop out of here, huge shout out goes to the Mardu Mob. As always, these guys are huge supporters of the channel. They support me through the membership program here on the channel. We call it the Mardu Mob. And you know, they help support this channel monetarily, and they also get some added benefits to their account. So I always like to give them a huge personal shout out at the end of every single video to let them know how much I do appreciate them. If you guys want to become part of that team, you can hit that join button down below or the link in the description below. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I'll see you guys on Friday or during the live stream tonight. Until then, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. Yeah, MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. Where's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap, yeah.